Broad Street. Broad Street, situated in Lagos Island, is steeped in Nigerian history. Once the biggest financial hub of the country, it housed the headquarters of major banks, linked the CBN, the stock exchange, and the loads of lender companies. Broad Street is a historically significant street. It has played a central role in the development of Lagos and history, an important commercial and administrative center for the British colonial authorities. It was also a home to some of the city's earliest modern buildings. Broad Street was a residential area in the pre-colonial era. With the British came the Methodist Boys High School in 1878 and the Broad Street Prison in 1882, renamed Freedom Park. The General Hospital, which was a British military hospital, was built in 1893, being the first general hospital in Nigeria. The old British Secretariat building, which is now the Federal Ministry of Justice, was built in 1906. Broad Street has seen a full turn into modern commercial office blocks, complexes, skyscrapers, and markets from the Outer Marina through Akpombo, early into the Adeniji-Adele Road. Broad Street is one of the busiest streets in Nigeria on weekdays, where commercial activities take place day and night. From modern buildings to ancient structures, this street gives one a raw dose of life in Lagos. Broad Street is often referred to as Lagos Financial District. It boasts a mix of architectural styles, reflecting its long history, colonial-era buildings, Victorian and Edwardian architectural features, alongside more modern skyscrapers and structures. Broad Street remains a vital, vibrant part of the Nigerian economy. Broad Street. SOUQ Enlightenment.
The heart of sub-Saharan Africa, where commerce meets progress. Welcome to SOUQ News, your source for business, economy, and development insight to drive nations forward. From the vibrant streets of Lagos, Africa's fastest economic hub, SOUQ News takes you on a journey of discovery, analyzing and reporting the facts that lay the foundation for growth and development. We don't just report the news, we create it. SOUQ News is more than a channel. It is a catalyst for change, spotlighting the stories that shape economies, inspire entrepreneurs, and fuel progress. Covering business, finance, technology, energy, and many more, SOUQ News provides a daily deep dive into the stories that matter, interviews with industry titans, and analysis that empowers your understanding of economic landscape. Join us daily as we dissect, discuss, and deliver the most relevant and factual news on business and the economy. SOUQ News is your trusted guide, empowering you with the knowledge to make informed decisions. The Three Wise Men. Iconic sculptures and statues adorn major metropolitan cities of the world. In Lagos, Nigeria, the statue of three men designed to depict the state's cultural heritage and to usher in visitors and tourists into the ever-accommodating center of excellence is no doubt an astounding work of art. Originally built under the administration of Colonel Raji Rasaki, designed by Bodun Shodende in 1991 and standing over 12 feet high, referred to as Agba Meta or Aro Meta, the three sculptured chiefs were placed along the Lagos-Ibadan toll gate to welcome people coming into Lagos State. The statue called the Three Wise Men by many has become a major signature for the state. Three white-capped chiefs clad in white wrappers, knotted across their shoulders and with clenched right fists are shown in the artwork. The images fascinate and create impressions in the minds of visitors coming into the state, captivating the attention of visitors who look with keen interest, pondering on the messages which the posture of the engraved images signifies. The Three Wise Men has been relocated thrice from its original position at Ojodu Berger end of Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to Magodo area before its final relocation to its present site at Olowo Drive. The sculpture has suffered severe damages over the years and renovated. Bodun Shodende, through this sculpture, depicted the highest honor that can be afforded to anyone in the eco-greeting tradition. The three wise men, Arometa, SOUQ Enlightenment. The National Theatre, Igomu, built during the military regime of Olusegun Obasanjo and finished in the time for the Second World Festival of Black Arts and Culture, FAAC, in 1977. The theatre holds amazing treasures and memories. The artworks fill everyone with pride. The National Arts Theatre is visible from the motorway which connects Lagos Island and the mainland. The National Theatre is packed with the artwork Midi Fakeye, Erabo Emopai, and many others. It was put to full use for a month as one of the 4 venues of the Second World Black and African Festival of Arts and Culture, tagged FAAC 77. The complex hosted 16,000 participants from 56 African countries and the diaspora in an unprecedented showcase of African music, fine art, literature, drama, dance, and religion. The National Art Theatre was built and designed by Techno Expert Stroll, a Bulgarian company mirroring the Palace of Culture and Sports in Varna, Bulgaria. Completed in 1976, the building is one of the largest and most beautiful of its kind on the African continent. It consists of a central hall with 5,000.
Hello and welcome to SOUQ PULSE. It's always a delight on my side, knowing fully well that you are there and you're part of this program. I want to say thank you for everyone that has always been part, commenting, reaching out directly and telling us how we can get better. That is the major essence of this program. We say, don't stop talking. And on the program itself, you don't stop. You tell us, get better, do this, do that. Don't say thank you very much. And you know, this is SOUQ PULSE, where we say, straight up tagline, don't stop talking. Whether it's be loans from World Bank, IMF, those from the West, we might not call them, even the African Development Bank, the policies, are they favoring your country? Those that took the lane, are they using it for what they took it for? Those that are stammering and can't give you direct explanations for those particular monies taken. Don't stop talking. What is making businesses thrive in your country, from coast to coast, from desert to desert, are policies being made in your country, making it easy for businesses to thrive? At the end of the day, are they putting food on the table or taking it away? Basics. Don't stop talking. It's SOUQ PULSE. My name is Chuks, John Rogers Chuks. We have something that we want to talk about today. And we are taking a particular example from Nigeria. That's where we'll be picking this topic from. And we want you to be part of this because it affects everyone. As it's happening in Nigeria, we know the same kind of thing is playing out in several other African countries. And we'll dive into it. I'll get to introduce my guest. So don't go anywhere. It's SOUQ PULSE. We'll be right back.
The heart of sub-Saharan Africa, where commerce meets progress. Welcome to SOUQ News, your source for business, economy, and development insight that drive nations forward. From the vibrant streets of Lagos, Africa's fastest economic hub, SOUQ News takes you on a journey of discovery, analyzing and reporting the facts that lay the foundation for growth and development. We don't just report the news, we create it. SOUQ News is more than a channel. It is a catalyst for change, spotlighting the stories that shape economies, inspire entrepreneurs, and fuel progress. covering business, finance, technology, energy, and many more. SOUQ News provides a daily deep dive into the stories that matter, interviews with industry titans, and analysis that empowers your understanding of economic landscape. Join us daily as we dissect, discuss, and deliver the most relevant and factual news on business and the economy. SOUQ News is your trusted guide, empowering you with the knowledge to make informed decisions.
Yes, welcome back. It's still SOUQ Pulse. And today, hey, I'm diving straight into it. To wherever you are, sit comfortably. Whatever it is that gives you joy to sip on, and let's join this conversation. We are looking at Federal Account Allocation Committee. For those that might not understand, we are going directly and asking ourselves this question. The monthly allocation from FAAC, that's the Federal Account Allocation Committee, is it breeding unproductive states? Is it making states, in my own words, lazy? My guess I shouldn't use that word, but I happen to be the presenter, so I'll say it. Is it making states unproductive? Every single month, let me break it down. Like Nigeria operates a federal system where monies made directly from oil or some other things are brought to the center, and at the end of every month, they divide amongst the 36 states. So you get to see state governors or their commissioners of finance go to Abuja, some dwell there, and every month they collect and go. What they do with the money, my guest will get to talk about it. How productive are they? My guest will get to talk about it. But to start on this particular discourse, we are still privileged to have, for those that might not understand, for going about 3 months now, he's been training the House on the stock market. Please, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, join me as I welcome to the show Mr. Charles Fakrogha, who happens to be a chartered stockbroker. This is his first time on SOUQ Pulse. Sir, you're welcome to SOUQ Pulse.
Thank you very much. Chuks, am I correct?
Present.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. So we also have our in-house analyst, who is the director for Center for Public Policy, Mr. Sam. You're welcome, sir.
My pleasure, Chuks.
Thank you very much. I always like it when you look at me, but it's the side eye that sometimes I don't understand. But no problem. I'll get used to it. That side eye. So, sir, I am not calling your state out yet, but you know I will get there. So let's always start. That's where we'll start our show with the topic. Is the federal allocation, that FAAC allocation every month, is it making states unproductive?
If I want to answer that question from a simplistic point of view, it's not making states to be unproductive. Regrettably, the way Nigeria is structured currently has made this kind of scenario to be sustainable. Why not
has
making
made what to be sustainable?
This idea of carrying bags and going to Abuja to share money among the federation unit. Rather, in a federal system of government, looking at the basic principles of federalism, universally, the federation unit or sub-national governments were supposed to be paying taxes to the center, but sadly, like I mentioned earlier, the case is that people carry bags and go to Abuja and they share money at the end of the month. Whether it makes them to be productive, unproductive, maybe as we engage further, we'll be able to speak to specific issues.
Okay. Mr. Charles, I'm coming straight to you.
Okay.
That is Mr. Sam's first take in landing on this particular topic. So now, is this allocation, monthly allocation, making states unproductive?
Well, to answer that question directly, I would say it's neither here nor there. Before they go back, we are seeing that dollar price is up. So some persons have said, allegedly, probably, maybe, this chief executive of these states, they go there and maybe through their finance commissioner to buy this dollar so that the money will become, portable, very portable. I don't know how true it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we are getting to see some other form and some other ways of answering this. Now, allegedly, mind you, allegedly. Now let's bring this back home. every single state is independent. They can run their account, they can generate their account, they can go ahead and do their own investments. They can also go ahead without getting direct approval from the government to also borrow money outside this country. We've seen that happen. We've seen different states in their different forms of development. Now, when it comes to productivity, why are we not seeing that? Everyone now gets to cry to the federal government. But when it comes to borrowing some finance from outside this country, they don't cry to the federal government. Now, let's bring this back home. If they are getting this monthly allocation, which does not stop, why can't they pay salaries? Some states, why are they having issues paying?
That the issue whether they are productive, not productive, is something that is neither here nor there. But if we now look at the monies that are accruable as receivable from the federal resource to the states, there's a problem of what you might call corruption, what I would describe as under-the-table transactions. Transactions that are opaque, that are not transparent, are always under the table, and the citizens suffer for it.
Under-the-table transactions. Okay, now, Mr. Charles, I'm coming to you. Okay. Now, when we see FAAC, for those that are wondering, FAAC is Federal Account Allocation Committee, is a committee that handles that disbursement, and they divide it among states, the federal government, and the local government. Now, that is for Nigeria. Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa. We have people way, way far away from us. So our Asian brothers, now you understand what we're talking about. Now, to other African states, look at your configuration. Is something like this also happening in your place? Now, let's come back to you, sir.
Yes.
Now, we get to see FAAC publicly show this.
Yes.
Every month. I'll call it, yeah, to an extent, accountability. Okay, this is what we have. Maybe whether it's what we have or we don't have, you can go and ask. You have your Freedom of Information Bill. Yeah. Now, this is what we've given to each state. Percentage they use in sharing it, you can go find out that on your own. That's not a kettle of fish right now. But now let's now look at the money that has been given to the state. Okay. Can we start asking the states, if FAAC can show us how they've disbursed this money, can you also show us how you've disbursed what they've given to you? Because we don't get to see what gets to the local government. Okay. Because they are also part of this disbursement. We don't get to see, okay, Abia State, we've given our 8 local government this, that. Or Kaduna State, or Gombe, or Yobe State, we've given our local government this, that. So we can now know, okay, who are we going to hold responsible next? Why or how can we get the state to also start showing us that?
Chuks, that's a very good one. You know, we're talking of accountability. First of all, we must give kudos to the federal government. They'll say, yes, as a father, this is the amount of money we have collected, and this is how I have disbursed. You know, a very good father. Everybody is seeing what that father is giving to each of these children, and it is there. Now, like the question you have just asked now, okay, these children he has given, they also have, let me put it this way, their own children too, the local government. I had always asked that question. How come the state will not tell us, let me take my own state in particular, I don't need to go anywhere. If Honorable Sheriff has gone to Abuja, and he has collected XYZ billion naira, and is in Asaba, then I also expect him now to behave like the father that gave him, to also call his own children. My local government, Patani local government, Ugeli South local government, Ugeli North, Isoko South, Isoko North, you know, Wari, Ukwani, Oshimili, Ndokwa. You should also call them. Let them also come and collect their own FAAC allocation. This one now, Delta states. So that I will know the particular amount of money that goes to my local government chairman. Barrister. They call him barrister. And I don't even know what he's barristering on. But I will now begin to ask him. But now, it's difficult for me to ask him. To say, barrister, with due respect to this amount of money Honorable Sheriff has given to you, what are you going to show for it? In some cases, allegedly again, they will say it is a joint account between the local government and the state. And I'm wondering, is it by force to do local joint account? I don't want to have a joint account with my wife. There's no problem with that. We can have the family account. But this one, let it be separate. So I'm appealing to the state governments. Just as your father has opened and given you, everybody's seeing. We sit down here, we're knowing how much that goes to Delta State, Edo State, Borno State, every other state. We want to also know how much has gone into these local governments so that we can begin to ask them, hold them accountable for the funds they are holding on trust. Because
funds being held on trust. Okay. Now, I'm coming back to you now. He brought up issues and now called his specific states. Now, if you are lost in any way, feel free, just go to our social media handles and ask questions. Someone will be there to answer you. Now, the states and he calls were a state in Nigeria, and the local government is also a local government in Nigeria. So, Mr. Sam, I'm coming to you. This is a very, very fast one. Can we also ask the federal government, okay, since the states are not doing this, you are FAAC, you know this local government, 774 of them, officially, can you start paying directly to the local government? Is it possible? Is it something you can say, federal government, hey, yes, give states, then since you are the one that is disbursing, disburse to local government directly too?
Fundamentally, the structure of the Nigerian state is faulty. Let's not make excuse here for the sharp practices that go on. It's not just sufficient. And I share in Charles' proposition where he used the metaphor of a father and a son. Even the father that Charles talked about, to what extent is the principles of transparency and accountability? It's not just sufficient to publish federal allocation on the pages of newspaper. The fundamental distortion within the Nigerian state must be resolved. So it will be good if state governments make publications of what goes into the local government. But Buhari signed into law the responsibility for a direct charge line where local government should have their monies directly. But some of the state government fought tirelessly.
That's true.
With a view to saying that within the concept of Nigerian federalism, which is uniquely different from the key concept of federalism, which is called the territorial dimension of the state, where the federation unit should even be more powerful than the center, and they went to court to challenge that process. Therefore, the governors themselves are part of the people who are having corrupt tendencies. Do you know that the table transaction where the local government cannot get that? So one of the constitutional review that must take place in this new review is whether they are in court or not, a first line charge in terms of drawing on the country receivable to the local government must be direct. Make no mistake. So local government will have their funding, then we can now hold the mayors that will call chairman here to account. Again, even the concept of chairman is fundamentally wrong, even in a proper democracy where you have federating units. So there's something in a name. You know, the concept of the chairmanship in Nigeria is like you are an omnibus man that nothing can happen to. So when we try to break down these walls of inefficiencies, these high-sounding words that make people not to perform their roles and responsibility. So in a simple term, before you progress, is that the structure of the state must be reviewed. What goes into various states, I'm one of those clamoring that there should be a reversal in terms of what goes to the federal. The federal should get 30%, while the remaining 70% should go to the state and the local government, and the local government should have it.
1 trillion, that's for Lagos.
IGR.
Yes, and their budget for that same 2023 was 1.768 trillion. That means they generated well over 65% of their budget. That's for Lagos. Now, can they do better? 100% yes. But can we commend them for this? We can also say yes. Compared to what is up, no. Compared to where we are heading to. Now, the next that followed was Rivers State. Their IGR was 220.06 billion compared to their budget, 555.66 billion. Not up to 50%. Not up to 50%. Then the third there was Ogun State, 210.25 billion compared to their budget, 472.25, not up to 50% too. Now let's now go down. The last three. KB State, internally generated revenue was 10.19 billion. You can breathe. You just take a deep breath. 10.19 billion. And their budget was 166.99 billion for KB State. I get to ask, why are you a state? The next was Yobe, 12.25 billion internally generated revenue. Okay. Budget was 163.01. Next was Jigawa, internally generated 15.74, budget 178.57. This is the reason why we ask ourselves, this money they go to Abuja to collect, is it not making everybody in that state relax and unproductive? Because you are looking forward to going to Abuja to get free money. Whereas there are avenues within your state that you can put your citizens to work and generate revenue, work, and get productive for your state. Where do we start changing this paradigm?
Yes, Chuks, thank you very much. In fact, it looks a bit comical. You know, I see a state, IGR is about 10 billion, and the budget is about 100 and something.
166.
So they cannot even generate even 50% of, to
10%.
10%
to
of
fund the budget, they can't.
To fund that budget. So technically, we will say
that's a failed state.
That state has gone bankrupt. They should file for bankruptcy.
It's a failed state.
Maybe chapter 13 of some overseas laws. But again, let's also look at those top three. You say Lagos, IGR, over a billion, over a trillion.
Over a trillion.
Okay, and their budget?
1.768 trillion.
I'll take it from there. Lagos State can do better than that. We should not clap for them. They can do better than that.
No, we're just looking at, we're comparing them and this other side of it.
Because former federal capital, NAV center, in terms of commerce, commercial activities, is Lagos here. Good. Now, whether this is making them, most of the states, unproductive, I would say yes. First of all, being a personal finance expert, if you know that I can generate just 10 billion and my budget is 100 billion, and I know that somewhere that I don't even need to do anything, if I just go end of the month, they will give me. It might not, that's a monthly thing.
Yes.
And I know the least they will collect on a monthly basis, maybe any state might be 2 billion or thereabout.
Way more than that.
Way more than that. So the man looks at it, 2 billion every month. Then, like you have said,
the least they collected last month was about 6 point something billion.
That for the least state.
Yes.
Okay, let's say it is even 5 billion. It comes back to a state capital. You know, like you have said, some of them don't even stay in their state capital. They stay in Abuja. So they come back there, pay salaries for that month. They call the various local government chairmen, where you come and show me your wage bill for that month. And they pay. And it goes back to Abuja. With this, we are encouraging unproductivity. Because like you have said, if they know that no money is coming, necessity is the mother of invention. They will look inwards and see how to become creative, where they will generate so much money. Even they themselves will be surprised. The issue is, yes, it is because this free money is there. And that is why they will not bother themselves to do anything. And I look at it. There is no state in the country today, that is Nigeria, that does not have enough natural resources. It's a problem of leadership. You need to harness these natural resources for the upliftment and quality of living of people in your states. Take a typical state, Benue. Kudos to Benue State Governor. I just remembered. The Reverend Father, Reverend Gentleman there. He has said the states, the local government are getting their money directly. It's in the news.
He should publish
publish it.
He should publish it.
Exactly. But for me, it's
and the local government should come out and say, yes, this is correct.
For him to come out and say they are going to get it directly, that's a right step in the right direction. In a state in the southwest, where the local government chairman even complained, there were issues. We don't know how far that matter has gone. In the state in the south, who mentioned in the southwest here. And somebody even said, with due respect to the local government chairman, because I aspire to be one, you know? And from what I'm seeing, I am discouraged. Because how will you tell me some of them, these local government chairmen, when they go to the governor's office, they say some people prostrate. Let me use to collect this money. And I'm saying he is elected as I'm elected.
Okay.
So
on that note of election, we'll go on a break. SOUQ PULSE will be right back. Don't go anywhere. When we return, we'll move to the next level of this particular discourse, because we are here and we keep saying Africa must be productive. So whatever policy that each country needs to change, tweak, or do away with, we'll talk about it. And you also will talk about it. Don't go anywhere. SOUQ PULSE will be right back.
My name is Veronica Nkechi Eze.
Charles Fakrogha.
My name is Professor Martins Emeje.
Professor Sylvester Odion Akaine.
Keep watching SOUQ
News TV.
The best news channel online.
It's elevating, it's enlightening, it's educating.
Muhammad Ali found this route in Africa. Rumble in the jungle. I swear the king is humble. Jesse Jackson, O.J. Simpson, this is black history. Andrew Young visit Africa in the late 60s. Legend, Bob Marley make the life different. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X are big names. They fought for black Americans in the old days. We need same revolution in our own ways. Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Mr. Jay-Z, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre and Eddie Murphy. American prosperity ain't complete with African poverty. It's legendary Idris Abdul Karim, and you are on to SOUQ News. You don't touch that dial.
Tafawa Balewa Square, TBS. Tafawa Balewa Square was initially used as a horsing ground called Lagos Race Course. The edifice was constructed by General Yakubu Gowon in 1972 and named after Nigeria's first Prime Minister, Sir Tafawa Balewa. Tafawa Balewa Square is located at 45/57 Marse Bangboshe Street on Lagos Island, Lagos, and referred to as TBS. TBS is a 50,000-seater capacity venue and houses the Remembrance Arcade, the 26-story Independence House, which at a time was the country's tallest building. When Lagos served as the country's seat of government, the National Assembly Complex was within the TBS. Also in the square are the National Broadcasting Commission Office, the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency Office, shopping centers, travel agencies, restaurants, car parking lots, and a bus terminal. Tafawa Balewa Square is adorned with beautiful statues of white horses and red eagles, symbols of strength and dignity. Our historic neighbors include the King's College and the Holy Cross Cathedral. Tafawa Balewa Square hosted some of the country's memorable events, such as the Independence Day in 1960, when Nigeria gained independence from Britain, the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, which is celebrated annually on January 15. The edifice is a national cultural asset. Tafawa Balewa Square, SOUQ Enlightenment.
Welcome back. It's still SOUQ PULSE, and we are here. We're looking at the monthly allocation to Nigerian states from FAAC. FAAC is the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee. And we've been asking ourselves directly this question: is it making states unproductive? States within the Nigerian Federating Unit. Now, we are taking this further. If, just like you postulated, that the federal itself needs to be rejigged, and you said something about the states and whoever is in charge of the state. Now, if we say that we should stop or look for how to reduce or whatever means of getting these allocations and not handing out this free money, because that is what it is, what, in your own opinion, what will you say that money should be used for?
I think we should get out of this a pigeonhole approach. Those monies are not free money. They are Nigerians' money. The citizens has worked hard for those money, so it's not free money. So it's a deployment of that money that we should be talking about. So I am averse to the concept of free money.
They are giving to them this free.
No,
it's
not free. No, it's not
because
free.
They didn't work for it?
No, it's not
the person
free.
that was given to...
No, that would be a wrong analogy.
Did the state... Okay, let me take an example.
No, just a moment, Chuks.
Okay.
The point I'm making is we're in a fragile environment, and the information in the marketplace must be appropriately given. So when you say free, it's like money that you don't work for is handed over to you.
Did they contribute?
No, they contribute because if you look at the ecosystem, he mentioned a state. All right, just a moment. Hold on. I will answer your question.
Are you producing states
I always like to lay
background. The money is coming from.
No, Chuks, just a moment. With due respect to your person, the point I'm making is that when you analyze issues, it's always good to give a background so that you have a safe landing ground. In most cases, the point I'm making is that I don't have any problem with that. But when you say free, the money is not free. It's the utilization of the money that is problematic.
Free to who is giving? If you say it's Nigerians' money, then I should be part of determining who gets the money, how is the money shared.
No, and that's why we say fundamentally, both of us, at the beginning of this conversation, we say the structure of the federation is faulty ab initio. So, and like people say, or lawyers say, nothing is built on nothing. So fundamentally, that foundation, that superstructure is faulty. So the point we should be making now is that to what extent that when this money gets to the state, even with the current configuration, how does this money work for the citizens of those states? I'm
not even looking at the money getting to the state. My question is, that particular money that is being handed to states, in your opinion, if you happen to be the federal government, or who is holding this money, what will you do? Will you keep handing it over to the state, or what will you do differently?
No, because there's a constitutional provision
that you should hand it over to them.
In terms of revenue sharing formula. Which
if you can tweak that, what will you do?
Okay, so if the first thing is to have a constitutional review to find a way to unbundle the current revenue sharing formula, which is faulty, based on wrong premise in the first foundation. So that's number one. Number two, even the way it's currently constituted, states should be more accountable in terms of asking their governors and their local government chairmen the money that comes, particularly with the differentials of over 20-something%, with the increment that they have gotten from removal of the fuel subsidy, some of the gains that they have gone from stability in the foreign exchange market. So some states has 18%, 12, 13%. If I were in government, that new accrual in terms of receivable should be dedicated to a project. So I will have a scorecard to say, this is what I was earning based on the current structure, I paid salary. This differential that comes in, I'm going to use it to create centers of excellence, either to build hospitals, cottage industry, whatever it is. So until we correct that, and this call for memorandum, which is ending up in a few weeks from now, people should look at the areas of constitutional review that has to do with this overbearing influence of Abuja in terms of how we share the receivable. That's very, very, very fundamental.
Okay, still hold on to that line of thought. Now, can we continue in this line, looking at the way where we are right now, where Nigeria is right now, where the country is right now? Can we continue with this practice of monthly sharing of money?
Well, we cannot continue like this. However, like he has said, if the structure is the way it is, until there is constitutional review, then we can now say, okay. But if you ask me personally, I would say, one, it is the states themselves. I'm not a resource control person, but for optimal utilization, let the states control some of these resources and feed the center.
You're already a resource control person.
And feed the center. That is from looking at it this way, so that other states, you know, will now begin to look at the resources they have and say, okay, let's bring experts, look at this. Oh, we can generate so much from this. We just need to pay the center some billions of dollars, and the bulk of that revenue will be with us. So you can see competition among the states. But with the present structure now, I agree with you, it's making some of these states to be very, very unproductive. The issue of free money, I agree with Mr. Sam, yeah. It's not a free money. Is it the value I'm talking about? People work for it.
It's not a free money. The money belongs to everybody.
It's the Nigerian people.
Good.
Yes.
But it's shared to the states.
Chuks, let me just add. Let me just add.
If the money belongs to Nigerian people, I am there too.
So we don't lose this thought.
I wasn't part of agreeing to that money being shared. So from my own side of it, you've given my money to someone.
You elected some persons to do it on our behalf.
Okay. Now let's look at this thought now.
No, just Chuks, one minute.
Okay.
I just want to add something so that we don't lose that train. Charles just proposed what you call competitive and cooperative federalism.
Exactly.
And that practice was here with us up to the early hours of 1967.
Wonderful.
Yeah, middle of 1967, when the overambitious military young men upturned the system. So you had the Western region, which was #1 in terms of revenue derivation.
Wonderful.
And if you look at the impact of Western region, what they had in the 60s and in the 50s, and in Lagos, I will mention that. Here in Lagos, if you look at the volume of investment of the Western Nigerian Development Corporation, which is now known as Odua Group. Talk about Western House, just in your corner here. Talk about Unity House. Talk about Lapai Building. Talk about Great Nigerian House.
Even Investment House.
Investment House. These were products where regions were competing cooperatively, and they did very well. #2 was Northern Nigeria. You have a Northern Nigeria Development Company that builds the textile hub. So, to that extent, that most of these governors are not productive. Yes, I agree with you in some respects. 2, the structure that we talked about earlier. Not until last year or 2022 that we're able to unbundle energy, where the federal government has an omnibus control in terms of law. Now, you have things that are in the exclusive list. You have bitumen deposit in Ondo State. But then the federal government, the almighty federal government, has the power over the mineral exploitation. So to very large extent, I'm not a publicist for state governors. But then, some of these governors are handicapped. And we remember, even in as far back 1999, when the Tinubu administration in Lagos, who was the first person to try to create an independent power generating unit. But then Aaron had his own corrupt tendencies, and that thing went into comatose. So the point I'm making is that sometimes, not that the governors or the governments of the states or local government are lazy, but the structure that has given so much power to the center will continue to be inimical to our development. Until we are able to rest those structures, then there's a problem.
until we're able to rescue those structures.
Yes.
Or arrest those structures. Now, you said not that the states or local governments are lazy. I beg to disagree on that.
I'm saying
Let me give you an example.
I use my word advice. I say, look,
some.
yes, I made a
Some.
point. No, just a point. The first point I made was this money should be, people should account for this money based especially what they have received under this regime. Number two, further constitutional review must be done to empower the state to exploit their mineral resources. Or they are able to do that.
Must it be mineral resources?
No, what I mean, there are a lot of things that are in the not necessarily mineral resources. There are a lot of things that are still in the exclusive list. They are not supposed to be in the exclusive list. It's limiting some state government.
Those particular exclusive lists for mineral resources, the federal government can keep it as long as they want until the states decide to wake up and say we are not going to take this. But for now, let's give a typical example. Not up to 2 months ago, the governor of Niger State, whenever or however or whatever touched him and they woke up from their slumber, in the next 3 months, Niger State is going to be one of the highest producers. They were there before, they lost it. One of the highest producers of rice in Africa. Why? Because a governor saw that, no, we can't continue like this. They went further. The first question he was asking himself, why should we be taking food from a country that is at war, Ukraine? And he told himself to their own face that it is a shame to us and our own people. And see the investment a state has done in agriculture. Yeah. The amount of machinery and kind of projects and science they've done with both partners here in Nigeria and outside Nigeria will tell that these people are serious. Exactly. So if they've decided on their own that, okay, let's go all out and get our people productive. Mind you, there's a whole lot of mineral resources in Nigeria.
No, I'm not making an excuse. The point I'm trying to make here is that...
I'm not saying you're making an excuse. I'm just trying to tell
the point
other states too can...
Yes, I understand that.
So what is their
excuse? The governors need to work extra hard to be more creative.
They don't need to work extra hard. They just need to do the work.
They need to work extra hard.
How extra?
No, because the point of discussion is that there are some money coming from some places. Therefore, those money is not making them to work hard. So I'm saying, even I lost my thought of thinking when you mention those groups that are doing extremely well, when you rolled out some figures. Those figures, and Charles spoke to it a little. There's nothing extraordinary in terms of those collections that you spoke about, or some of those states. Is because of the endowment that they currently enjoy, and the quality of those revenue collection can be more. I'm saying that governors, yes, should work extra hard to create values for their people in their state. No doubt about that.
Okay. Now, Mr. Charles, let me come to you. Let's go back to this allocation. We have seen over time that where these allocations have gone to, publicly, just the way it was sent there, we've not seen it on paper, also publicly telling us this is where and this is who got this or this is who got that. Now, for this, all the states, no one left. 36 of them, with or without mineral resources. Can we say these states need to get productive? There are other sectors to play in. There are a whole lot of other sectors to play in. If a state decides today to generate power on their own, even when the law that was still domiciled in the hands of the federal government, let us tell ourselves some basic truth. If a state said, no, I'm going to disobey that law and give light to my people, there is nothing the federal government to do.
No, if the law, the enabling law was not there, you cannot put it on the national grid. No, let's be factual.
The national grid, they are grids.
No, hold on. There's a difference.
Let's take an example.
No, some years there were independent power projects that were servicing some government, but you can't put it on the national grid.
Your national grid.
Okay, and just take it to serve your people.
Yes. Let's take, for example, some years back, a governor in Lagos State decided to create some more local government and local government development centers, which the president at that particular point in time did not take it, and allocations were held. All through the period the allocation was held, was the state not functioning because the state decided to go somewhere and get some money. However they did, that's their issue. Which means states, if they get serious, they will get productive. You said necessity is the mother of invention.
Yes, sir.
So if hunger beats somebody somewhere, he will wake up and get something done. So if there's no allocation, states will wake up. What is stopping them from waking up?
Allocation is part of the federal process. So you cannot remove it.
I am not saying I'm going to remove it.
No, the point I'm making.
Why are we so focused on it?
Yes.
Let me come in here. You see, like he has said, what we have existing now, nobody can do anything for now.
I agree.
Yes. But we are saying, or what he's saying, or what you are also saying, despite that, we can still be productive. Nobody is going to stop a state government, like what Niger State has done. Nobody is going to stop them. If today, a particular state is saying, I want to train my people, and they increase their IGRO, and they do that, federal government is not going to stop them from training their people. Then if they also become very efficient in terms of how they collect some of this IGRO and make use of it efficiently, and it's impacting on the people, federal government will not come and tell them, no,
don't do that.
Don't do this. So even in this current arrangement that is not too good for everybody, the states can still become productive. It now depends on the kind of leaders we elect today as state governors. Because I'm telling you my humble self.
Is it only on the leaders? What about the followers?
Once leaders, once you set the pace, it becomes easy for the followers. However,
if the followers get together and bunch, they can put pressure on the leader
of course, they can
to get
put
something
that
done.
But the followers have also become very docile.
Because of free money.
Because of the way things have become. Some can even hardly think outside the box. It's no longer possible again. I won't say it is free money. Because if at the end of every month, I know I will just go and stand somewhere and I collect money, my brother, I will not want to disturb myself again. As long as that one that comes, over time, I've seen that it has gone a long way in supporting their lifestyle, paying salaries, because I can't see a reason why I will clap for a governor because he paid salaries, he built roads, and I'm saying to hell, sorry for that language, I will draw it back. I'm saying, is it his father's money? Somebody will say, I'm Mr. Project. He says the money coming from his pockets. No, it is the people's money. I agree with Mr. Sam. They need to account for even the ones they are getting now.
Okay, now
we want to see proper accountability.
We need to round up. Our time is up. It's just 1 hour. So, Mr. Sam, I'm coming back to you. Let's just say by one order of power, you happen to be in a place where you have to advise this particular governors, 36 of them. What will you tell them to start doing right?
I think in advisory capacity, my advice may not work. The question would have been, if I have an opportunity to be elected, what will I do differently?
Okay.
Fundamentally, is to first rejig the federal structure. It's very faulty. It's built on nothing, and it's a military configuration that has continued to undermine development. From whatever point of view you look at it from. Governors must challenge themselves to work for their people. This political expediency of giving them certain titles in terms of Mr. Project, like what Charles said, are no longer venerable things that people will just fall for. Then citizens, on the other hand, should not be clapping for their governors. Because of the crumbs some people within the power crucible do get from them. So if we're able to change the structure, then if we become followers, become more demanding on government, then the issue of accountability, transparency, and there are various projects in some states currently, some states have subscribe to them. That's what we call open democracy, open governance. To try to put whatever you do on the table so that civil society groups can look at some of the things you do. Some civil society organizations are already working in that arena where X amount of money that is put for specific project, there's an audit trail in some of those projects. So there's some little accountability. Once we're able to do that diligently and citizens follow and get interested in the way their money is spent, then we might become more productive.
Okay, Mr. Charles.
Yes, I agree with him. We need to ask these governors to be more accountable. That is one. Then the citizen themselves, me and you, we have to also be more critical. I'm happy what some of them have started doing. There is an organization called Budgets. I see them and I love what they are doing. I've listened to them several times. We want to have that kind of structure, not only looking at what federal government is doing in the state, even in the local government. Because whether we like it or not, some funds still get to local governments. And even if at this defective structure, money still get to local government. What have they done with the one they are currently getting? Local government chairmen don't stay in their local government.
Okay, that would be a matter for another day.
In any case, just before you run,
okay,
just to add to what chances, when you're talking about IGR, the local government, which has its own duties,
exactly,
spelled out in Schedule 4,
exactly,
of the 1999 Constitution as amended, has so much big role in terms of revenue collection from wheelbarrow, from slaughterhouses. What do you even do with the IGR?
The state government is already doing those things.
That was to be another matter for another day. I want to say thank you very much for staying and being part of this particular program. Remember what we say on SOUQ PULSE: never ever keep quiet. When you see it, you say it. We need Africa to get productive, and it starts with me and you. There is nothing called Africa if you, me, him, her are not part of it. Thank you very much. We'll do this again tomorrow. My name is Chuks, John Rogers Chuks. And hey, happy Easter in advance. Bye.